It's a true pleasure having all of you on stage, a true honor. And a big round of applause again to all of the speakers. This will help you digest your lunch and also warm you up for the session. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's the first day's debate at Cypher 2025, India's biggest AI summit and expo. Are you guys nervous? No. Trust me, I am. All right, so let me go ahead and talk about what we are going to be discussing today. The topic of the debate is generative AI, a replacement for knowledge workers, hype or inevitable. But before I go ahead and open it up for you speakers, for all of you luminaries, I just have to ask you this, because this is a thought that I have. And I'm sure a lot of people might agree with me, might not agree with me, but the entire point of the discussion and the debate today is that by the end of it all, we'll all have some takeaway. Otherwise, I have definitely not done my job. All right, point that I have is that whenever we talk about AI today, we are only looking at it from a point of view where we say, all right, it is a magical enabler as far as humans are concerned, right? Or the other side is that it's definitely a complete disruptor. I feel maybe, just maybe, AI, generative AI, could be a little bit of both, depending entirely where we are using it, depending entirely on how we are going ahead and extracting the maximum out of it, and also contributing the best as far as we as humans is concerned to further the narrative. So I'll kick off the session with this. The fact is, gentlemen, here's the first one. IBM Watson, right, helped doctors to go ahead, and this was the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. It was to diagnose cancer with 80% accuracy, right? So the thought and the question or the submission is, does this mean AI is helping medical professionals or replacing the critical role of human expertise in healthcare? That's the first point of discussion which I would like for you to take away. Whoever is for, whoever is against, I guess we'll find out after this.
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead,
Should
sir.
I start? So, first thing first, human evolution has gone through multiple cycles. And we generally keep evolving. I mean, new inventions keep happening. But some inventions or some things are more important than other. I mean, human have seen industrial revolution. It came, and when it came, a lot of people thought that what human will do. And what eventually we saw is that new type of industry came, textile, different manufacturing, different engineering type of jobs created, and human actually got employed much more. Second, when we thought of this computer started coming, computer era, people thought that all these jobs related like clerical jobs, accountant jobs and all will go away. However, eventually what happened is that more jobs got created, more computer engineer, more software engineer. Bangalore should be really thankful that there was this computer era.
Yes, we are. Trust me.
Yeah. Then internet era came. Again, when internet era came, people started thinking, what would happen, to my jobs, or even different thing which used to happen. Just take an example, before internet era, large part of communication used to happen through the post office, or maybe some form of telephone or something like that. We really thought that the whole thing will get disrupted, and got disrupted also. However, because of internet, or these mobile phones, how much more we communicate, how many more jobs got created for mobile manufacturing, how many more jobs got created for mobile repairing, how much more jobs got created for creating social media platforms so that people can interact. So just that communication part, if people thought internet will disrupt it, actually it disrupted but created more job for like, people to be connected and communication. Internet era, like, all these e-commerce jobs we never thought of, like, I mean, Amazon is like, one of the biggest company on earth, e-commerce, like, because created, like, because of internet. So any new things which comes creates an opportunity which is not imagined earlier. And same way for AI, I really think that if anything, it will create more jobs, more new type of opportunity, and human will be doing even better type of jobs than what it was doing earlier. Taking a specific situation of your doctors.
Sure.
Today, how many people have access to doctor in Africa? Even how many people have access to doctor in India? Having an AI doctor, like, which can help people to, like, consult or, like, will be much better than, like, having some jhola type guy, like, in villages.
Not
Like,
all of them are like that.
yeah, but many, I mean, like, in villages, I mean, everyone in India thinks they are doctor. Like, everyone will suggest someone take Dolo or someone take, like, I mean, antibiotic. That's the way India is. So,
You just actually talked about half my family. But anyway, continue.
yeah, so what I'm saying is that AI will, I mean, of course, enable a lot of, like, people, those who do not have access to doctor, and it will enable to doctor also. Those who will become a better doctor by having access to AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Markandey sir clearly is for. I hope we got that right. All right.
AI
So
will
you're
enable more
for
jobs.
AI. All right. Gentlemen, if you want me to just read that again, for example, just so that we could have the other side of the lens. The point I was making was very simple. Does this mean AI is helping medical professionals or replacing the critical role of human expertise in healthcare? I'm not talking about my family.
Yeah. So I think what Markan told, I agree to that. I think AI here to just empower, enable the people. If we augment AI in our day-to-day work, our productivity increases. Like in the medical cases, medical domain, what we are discussing right now in clinical trials or any such kind of scenario, where if doctor itself take help from the AI, he can actually fast track the processes. Given a scenario of Indian kind of economy, where doctors are very less, like AI will help to increase the productivity. They can provide more and more productive sessions to the patients and deliver things much faster than whatever they are doing as on today. Augmenting AI will definitely allow people to do more with less. Using your limited capacity, you can deliver much more things. And that is what I feel like, so AI is revolutionary. It's a democratized technology where everybody has access to this. Earlier, like, to do something like, you need to have a, expert level knowledge to, drive those things. But now with the AI, you go and just figure out by yourself. So it's an amazing technology. And I'm sure, like, as we start using day-to-day life, we feel like, it's not for a replacement, it's to empower the people or enable the people.
Gentlemen.
I think one thing that I have learned from my experience running a startup is that it's not good to have 0-1 binary opinions. Like, it's a debate, so we have to take some sides, but I do believe that doctors are absolutely critical, and AI is nowhere close to actually coming even 10% of 20% of replacing their job currently. And you cited a study when you started, but what we have found, or the literature around, if you look at it, what you'll see is that more than 95% of these studies have used their own training data as the testing data also, which perfectly invalidates them. And what we are seeing is that a lot of what is being peddled right now is more hype than what is actually hitting the ground as reality, how AI is helping in critical areas. Though I'm sure it is going to impact a lot of jobs that we see, but those would be menial. And as people who have practiced in some form around data or something else, we see that AI is helping us do a lot of manual work, which would require people earlier, but now it is done through AI. But in critical aspects, where knowledge is important, where intelligence is important, I think AI is far behind right now in the current state.
Sir.
Yeah, you can hear me? Okay. I think whether it is a disruptions or enabler, I think it's an oxymoron. anything which is an enabler has to go through a disruption cycle. You go through, and people talk about medical. I think everybody just need to look at what happened in AlphaFold, right? For which Dennis get the Nobel Prize. Right? For protein folding, which usually takes 6 to 7 years, we are able to do it in weeks now. What does that mean for healthcare? That means if the innovation cycle continue, we'll probably have personalized medicines in 3 to 5 years. And if we are lucky to survive for next 10 years, probably we'll never die. Right? That's the fundamental promise what AI is making. Where we will land, that's a different story. Right? So that's purely where on the medicine side of it. When you talk about doctor, how do doctor treat? Doctor treat primarily out of touch and experience. Fundamentally, when you walk into a clinic, they really don't look at any data. They simply talk to you and they say, okay, look like a viral fever hai. Paracetamol 3 दिन ले लो, अगर नहीं कम होता है तो then we will test it out. And on probability, if you apply probability in 99%, that will be correct. You will have viral fever. You really don't want to put critical resources to treat it. Or, we don't have enough resources part of it. That's the right way. But if you're talking about anything critical where you will not able to take judgmental kind of data, fundamentally AI will come in there, will be able to synthesize large amount of data and able to give you a pattern, and the second opinion will be the doctor. That's where it will come in. If you're saying whether disruption will happen or not, I think we may deny it. It will happen, right? We are on that life cycle. We are seeing flashes of innovations. It just figure it out. If you really look at any innovation, what is the cycle? Usually, you will have innovations or breakthrough. That will go into feasibility. That will go into adoption. That will go into the diffusion, right? Breakthrough is not diffusion. It will take its own time, 10 years to diffuse, right? 10 years down the line, we'll be not talking about whether AI is an enabler or disruptor.
Sir, just a very quick follow-up on what you just talked about. You talked about experience for sure. I want to understand this. When you talk about super speciality, you talk about brilliant doctors who have excelled in their fields. We, at the end of the day, are also relying on them in terms of their instinct, their experience, their touch, their understanding of human nature, and probably they themselves are in a big way data providers to that AI. How would you like to go ahead and maybe clarify on that thought? That are we looking at replacing those brilliant minds as well in terms of times to come? Or are we looking at them being supplemented given the richness of their journeys?
Yeah, so I think let me make it very clear. AI is an accelerator, right? It is not going to replace anything. What AI replaces is task, not job.
Fair.
And the task need to be well defined, need to be replaced, right? And when we are talking about doctors, where do their insight come from? Their insight doesn't come from their studies. Insight comes from their experience, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, looking at the same use case and creating a mental pattern. That's basically your insight, right? And insights are not transferable. You cannot take a cardiologist and talk about, it is a cancer, there is an insight. No, it is not. What AI will help you, what exactly doctor is doing, it's a pattern matching, right? Figuring it out and what next to be. AI will do that very quickly. It will give you the first level of insight based on the data, not based on the perception side of it. And then the doctor will be able to take that information and validate and do that part of it, right? So I'm saying, as long as we see AI as an accelerator and we use it to improve our understanding, we are in the safe hand.
Fair.
I think just to,
Sure.
on one point, because we are on doctors, not by any means a medical, person or.
Sure.
But what you have seen, and specifically I'm reminded of what Jeffrey, the godfather of AI, predicted in 2015-16, that the jobs of radiologists will go away in 5 years. Now, if you look at the data today, there are more radiologists than existed 5 years back or even 10 years back. So the job has not been taken away. And people cited all kinds of studies that radiologists specifically, because it's looking at the images and inferring from them. Their job has not been even taken away 20%. They are relying on AI tools. AI tools is helping them measure, find out areas, clusters, and all of that. But taking away job, just not possible. Another part, which he mentioned very clearly, is around diffusion, plus also the diffusion takes time. Sure. All technologies take time. But data is very fundamental to AI.
Yes.
Today, whatever AI, or a lot of AI that a lot of people use on a personal basis is mostly a summarization of the internet, which is easily available to you. But data for other things, critical functions, is just not organized or available readily to train anything. So if that becomes available in different functions, we'll see better usage, better reliability of these AI tools.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, actually, just wish to support him, and also so I think he said he's against, but he's supporting that. No, I mean, AI is not
Markandey,
replacing
sir,
the
stop
job.
trying to convert
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. He's saying
Let's not do this.
We don't have a less radiologist. We have more radiologists, and my assumption is probably we'll have more, because those machines which are being operated human by machine. I mean, human being has to go into a CT scan machine. A human has to be there. I don't think robot will make someone walk and people will feel comfortable. Maybe someday it will happen for next generation, but for our generation, I think we need a human who can make us walk to CT scan machine. But how many of you have to really wait if you have to do the CT scan? You have to call, take time, and then only you can get it done. My assumption is that with AI, more and more CT scans will be done. And the human, the person who could just write 5 reports or 10 reports, that radiologist now will be added by AI, and he'll be able to write more reports on those CT scan. So it will just support. Probably there'll be more radiologists, but far more CT scans will be done, and that's the point we are making. Second point, on doctor, again, just want to make that point. I totally understand. I mean, earlier it used to be, doctors used to be all gut and feel. They used to see the patient and write the prescription. And it was a great skill,
Of course, nobody could understand their handwriting, but that's another problem.
Absolutely. However, now, many of us script कि डॉक्टर के पास गया और वो तो 5 टेस्ट लिख दिया. And more tests are being done. More and more tests are being done, actually more things are being known from the inside, and prescription can happen actually much more accurately. No, I want to make one more point. So now, I mean, AI will play a good role for the where the prescription has to be large part driven by those test results. However, still this physical aspect of doctor, seeing visually that patient, कि ये तो yellow color का दिख रहा है, चीजें चेहरे में अच्छी नहीं दिख रही हैं, that data is not organized today. But now more and more hospitals are having CCTV. When doctor is actually looking at that patient, those videos and other things are being captured. That will become the data. I'm sure 100% some big AI company is actually training some AI to become AI doctor, and they will start understanding the physical aspect. I do not exclude a possibility that in a doctor room, parallelly there will be a humanoid doctor which will be sitting and also physically seeing. Again, I'm not saying it will be replacing doctor, but probably he will write the prescription and then the final doctor will sign on it. Most of the cases sign. In some cases, actually, he may agree or disagree. So overall revolution is coming. Please be ready for it.
Fair enough. Markandey sir, there are of course no clear lines that have been drawn here, and I'm sure you're going to keep trying to pull people onto your side as we're going to go along. But of course, the second point that I would like, we've of course discussed this, I want to take it further by what you had mentioned, sir. You talked about jobs, big jobs, in terms of the so-called repetitive jobs, which AI will go ahead and replace. It's already actually started to do it in terms of, let's say, customer service, in terms of bits of education, bits of media. So just to cite an example, the New York Times op-ed section, which has experimented with using AI-generated content in the form of news analysis. While it can write a report, can it replace the human creativity needed for opinion pieces? Here's the question. Could this lead to mass job displacements in media, education, or marketing? I would like for you to please start, sir, because you had talked about the role of AI in terms of taking over mass jobs.
So let me talk about experience that I have had in running Mygate itself. And what I've seen is that developers today are much, much better off. They are writing better code, as well as the outcome is much faster. You know, a couple of weeks are reduced to 2 days.
Sure.
Right? So are the jobs of developers going away? I don't think so, because we still need developers, because what we do is we break the problem down and then get solutions part by part and see everything is working. So you need a guy who does that. But what is going away is need for more and more. So the need for more software developers, for me at least, is down. Similarly, if I look at the marketing function, I haven't hired specifically for more graphic designers. There's a team which is doing fine. I don't need to add more to it, even though I have more work to do now. So job replacement in some areas, it's definitely going to happen. And data is one place where it is going to happen more so, where its analysis looking at what data is coming. And so I'll give you an example of calculators, right? When calculators came in, a lot of people were unemployed who were good at doing calculations manually. And those jobs got eliminated. And similar jobs which can be done AI at the current level, I think they are going to be at risk. You'll need fewer and fewer people of those. On the OPED part, I don't think that's going away. I think the media jobs are pretty safe.
Sure.
Pretty safe, because there's a level of intelligence which is required and reading a lot more than what the words say.
I wanted to establish that. Thank you. Thank you. Sir.
Yeah, so first thing first, I think I was just going through, I think everybody know what is Cloud AI and Cursor and all of those kind of things, right? I was just going through their report of last week. Interestingly, if you look at that data, one is basically automation or inferencing, or basically, you are asking for suggestion and then you are accepting. Interestingly, last week, automation means you are asking them to, play in English and ask them to build it. And the inferencing is where you are giving them some code and you are asking them to edit it and all of this. Last week, the automation crossed inferencing, right? In last 1 year, it moved from 28% to 51%. What does that mean? That fundamentally means people trust has improved, right? And I just want everybody to understand a 2x2 matrix, how the diffusion will happen. If you plot cost of replacement, and cost of replacement means if I do a mistake, what is the cost, right? Cost of replacement and cost of automation, right? Two plane, right? Wherever the cost of replacement is low, right? Means if I do a mistake, I'll be able to intervene. A lot of people will say, typically call centers and everything is a kind of use case. If there is a problem, somebody will handle it. I'm not going to go wrong. Those are the kind of things which we'll see adoption first. We spoke about medical. The cost of error is very high, right? Whether AI will do better or not, I don't think that question is in my mind. It is when we will take time to build the trust. We have built trust on doctor for 50 years. It will take time. Allow 5 years. We talked about radiology, right? I think there is a large study has happened in large radiology. You can look for that, where they have taken 5 million samples and ran through those samples through AI and the actual radiology, right? They figured it out. AI has actually done 16% better. Whether 16% is better, is good or bad, that's a different interpretation. Still probabilistic. But AI is doing that work part of it, right? So in my mind, there is no question that AI is not going to do disruptions. But every time there is a disruption, what it does, it basically creates a new way of working. What does that mean? That means you will be able to do lot more with lot less. That means you will be able to do lot more startup and all of those things. Just look at with cloud and apps, how many startups came in last 10 years. Compare that with last 50 years. Every day, at least I get 10 calls from startup want to do travel business. They call me and understand, can you help me understand travel as a business? I am trying to disrupt through AI. I didn't get those many calls in last 10 years. Why? Because cost of innovation has significantly come down. If I want to innovate, I don't want a tech guy, product guy, business guy to start up. I can do a vibe coding and tomorrow I can validate. Your velocity of feedback differentiate your innovations. Right now, velocity of feedback is practically zero. You can sit in your living room and tomorrow you can have a vibe code and you can test it out some customer and figure it out how to take it out. What does that mean? That means we will see industry which we have never seen before. We are talking about innovation in the byte world, right? Because we are saying, how much of compute has gone up and all of those things. What happens to the atom world? Atom world innovation has stopped in 16s and 70s. We have done electricity there, laser there, and all of those things. We have stopped there. Did you hear any innovation in last 50 years in that space? Why not? Because the low-hanging fruits is all gone. If you have to figure it out a superconductor material, it's going to take time. And that innovation will happen now. Because we will be able to iterate much faster. Just think if you are able to innovate and break that module, what does that job make for your job industry? New interesting job will open up. Every time there is a disruption happens, adoption happens because it is cheaper, faster, and people are better. If people are not better, adoption will never happen. That's what history tells you. And so I'm not worried whether the job will go. People who can adopt will have better quality of life tomorrow than today. But adaptability is the key. If you are not with AI, AI will replace you.
Interesting thought, sir. Interesting thought. Sir, I would like for you to probably elaborate a little bit on what sir had talked about a while back, that fair, a lot of the aspect of AI will give you a lot of inputs, but the creative factor, which is the intelligence factor, which is what I wanted to establish. How do you feel about that aspect?
Yeah, of course. The definition of innovation is very, vague in when we talk about innovation. Whatever we are doing today, we feel like we are doing innovation. If it is a repetitive task, definitely I'm going to replace it. But that doesn't mean job will go away, right? Because take an example, you have 1 year roadmap, you want to build so many things in a year. Given that with the AI.
So, sir, you believe that jobs won't go away?
Job will not go away.
Jobs won't go away, but we have statistical data. A lot of your fellow speakers have been talking about the fact that jobs will go away. And what sir just actually concluded with was the fact that jobs will go away with people who do not adapt to AI.
Yeah, so I'm coming to that point, this is the transition phase wherein people are figuring out, right? There's a disruption, when company sees, AI is, big and surreal. Let's prepare for the AI. Let's, bring in new talent. This, to manage the budget, they are letting the existing talent go away. Because they are operating within the limited cost structure, right? They cannot, keep bringing new bloods and, retaining the existing one as well. So these are the, temporary phase. But it doesn't mean the people who are, losing the job will not have a job in the future. New opportunity will definitely going to come very soon. That's what I feel.
What is that new opportunity according to you? For example, sir had mentioned people with mental acumen of doing maths, got, unfortunately, finished because of calculators coming in. So
I will take your example only, the news example you mentioned, right? News media example.
Op-ed section, yes.
Yeah.
The New York Times.
Right. So any news media you talk about today, you cannot rely on any news. It's all
No, but that's a different argument.
No, I'm coming to that
That's
point.
a different argument.
How AI will help you out there.
Sure.
Creativity is someone news editor sitting in the room creating a news, draft structure, when AI will go and crawl, all across the platform and give you the crisp news. That's what the news you want to read.
News, fake or otherwise, is not what the thought was, sir.
Yeah.
My thought was very different. So, for example, a Khushwant Singh, sorry, Markandey.
Can I just say?
A Khushwant Singh God rest his soul, wrote beautifully well. What an amazing journalist, what an amazing writer, what an amazing thought provoker. Now, if he were to be, you feel, replaced by AI, would that happen?
No.
Yeah, no. See,
That's the point that
yeah,
I'm...
so if you see, just taking your example of news.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Yeah, just talking about news. And how news used to get consumed. Before television era, it was like, through the print media, newspaper. Then television era came through television. Then this social media, YouTube came, like, a lot of people are consuming news through YouTubes. And if you talk about that the people, those who are employed in, say, print media for the news, are they reducing or increasing? That is not the point. Point is, are more people working to create news which can be consumed by different people in different way? My assumption, and I think some data also will prove that more people are employed in creating news, and they are able to create
Not
news.
just news. I meant media.
Media.
So
I'm
let me
coming.
talk about set designers. Let me talk about people who have studied very hard all their lives, have reached a certain pinnacle of their situation. Today, AI and its tools is looking at, they're looking down the barrel of the
See,
gun as far as their jobs are concerned.
That's not the way to look at.
Okay.
There used to be a job of typist.
Hence,
Does it exist? No. But does people truly really aspire to become a typist? Who is aspiring to become a typist? People want to be software engineer because...
I saw 2 hands go up there.
Do they? There could be. Human creativity. No problem. I'm just saying it cannot be looked into from the past mirror. You have to look at future. And guys, we are not even talking about what is the potential which AI will bring. My view is saying it will do better customer service, it will become doctor, it will become better car driving, and in car driving because of Tesla, they have so many sensors and cameras and all, now there are a lot of autonomous car driving is there. In the same way, every places where the data will come in an organized way, the point which he made, there will be more and more AI which will do things in autonomous way. However, the real point is not these things, and these things of course are evolving. Real point is this, that today AI will give us power to do new scientific discoveries. There'll be a new scientific discovery in material science. There'll be a new scientific discovery in medical science. There'll be a new scientific discovery in biotechnology because of all these compute and other things which are available. And they will open up opportunity which we cannot imagine. Today we are constrained by power. Power is constrained by storage because sun is a source of infinite energy. We just cannot store it. But what if tomorrow we have a material which can actually store that energy? What different kind of opportunity will come when we have unlimited energy? Tomorrow, if in medical science, today, what happens? Everyone is prescribed Dolo for the fever. What if tomorrow?
So you really
yeah, I'll come.
Plugging in Dolo.
Yeah. Tomorrow, if there is based on AI, based on your gene, based on your DNA, actually a prescription is being written by AI, which is very effective to you and very targeted. Do I see that it is an impossibility? No, please not. In 10 years, I think there are a lot of individual specific medicine will get created. It has to be manufactured then and there.
Fair enough.
It will create more jobs.
Fair enough.
So please be ready yourself. Make yourself ready for a better life with AI. And you are there.
Fair enough. Because of the paucity of time, I would like for us to also go to the audience, maybe for 1 or 2 questions. But I would like to do that post maybe another 3 or 4 minutes, which I would like for us to finally reach a point where we are talking about all of us, well, a couple of us have agreed to the fact that yes, AI is extremely integral. It is an enabler. We are also in that phase right now where we are going through a transition. We've established that. I would like to understand, sir, today, we are looking at AI in today's stage. Tomorrow, we are looking at an AGI, hopefully, not very really long down the road. But tomorrow, if that actually starts to take place, here is what I would like for us to sum up this conversation with this thought that I'm sharing with all of you, and then I'll come to you. This is what I have to say, sir. In terms of the fact that AI's long-term impact on the workforce, Utopian or dystopian, right? I mentioned AGI. In the short term, AI is transforming industries. We've all established that. MakeMyTrip, sir, you mentioned the fact that you're not getting that many calls. You're talking about vibe coding, you're talking about X amount of factors. But what about the long run? What happens when AI starts to make decisions for us? How are we going to be able to deal with that? And I will sum up my thought with a very simple point, which is AI in finance, which is robo-advisors like Betterment and Wealthfront are handling complex financial advising. Does that mean that financial advisors will soon become irrelevant, right? Or the debate between technology-assisted advisory and human intuition continues?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people ask what will happen when AGI comes, right? Fundamentally, first thing first, it is unknowable at this point of time, so let's not worry about it. Anything that you cannot solve in that domain, let's not worry. Let's take a parallel. First parallel is what happened when nuclear weapon comes, right? That's probably the biggest disruption in the world, right? Does the power shift? Are we on more war in last 70 years? Why not? Because the moment something very disruptive happens, automatically people collaborate, because it doesn't really matter whether I have 2,000 warhead or I have 2 warhead. No, destruction is destruction and people want to protect their son. So automatically collaboration, guardrails, everything will come in. So when AGI comes in, probably that's the best time we will see the guardrails coming in. And the discussion that you are talking about on the financial world and all of those kind of things. More and more technology coming in, right? The attention span is becoming very, very narrow. When did you hear last saying, people are doing day trading? Right? It was in last 4-5 years and mostly industries. With AI also that time span will shrink. You want to make money, just think little long term. I used to think 2 years is long term, now 3 months is long term. I make more money now than I was making 2 years back, right? Just change your horizon, you will be able to cultivate UI for your advantage. We are simply looking at it as a competitor. Just look at you plus AI is the accelerators. Use it. Use it.
Fair, sir. Thank you. Sir, very quickly to the three
I think
speakers. We have paucity of time. I would request.
There's a lot of talk on AGI, right? I think it has been peddled for long. I don't think any evidence or anything that has been predicted that it will come out soon. So, what AI is today, I think it's a lot of technology which have been built over time and accelerated by a few things. But it is going to impact, but it is not a medicine for everything. It is not going to revolutionize everything.
It's not a dolo for everything.
It's not a dolo for everything. And I think it's more, the way it is being doled out is more like a snake oil. That, it can cure a lot of stuff, but, you have to use the tool for the right purpose. And that's where it will be helpful.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Yeah, so I think AI is a very democratized technology, what I keep telling again and again, because it's accessible to everyone and everyone can, do and try stuff by themselves. So my opinion, just we should start using AI. Let's, empower with the, all latest and greatest tool, increase your productivity, adopt the new things. Like, for example, the financial consultant kind of roles. Over the period, what will happen, they have to adopt the new tools, which are, AI-driven tools, like to advise better, advice to the customers. So AI is not going to go anywhere. People are going to be here only, they will start using the AI, become better. Because survival of fittest is the, main thing. If you don't upskill yourself, then I think you will, left behind. So better you start upskilling yourself, start, getting along with the AI, use in day-to-day work, and start increasing your productivity. Do more with less. And that is what the industry demand as on today. That's what I feel.
Markandey, sir.
Yeah. See, AGI is a term which gets used, feels like people are talking at a point in time when something magical will happen. We have all lived longer. I'm very old.
No.
I color my hair. That's why, I may look little younger than what I am. I started my first job and building my first model logistic regression in 2002.
Wow.
So really old. And what I used to do that time and what I'm doing, it has been a continuous progression. And AI has become better and better and better. I mean, of course, there was a point, November 2022, when this generative AI chat GPT got announced. Generative ability of AI is really like not just the continuum, I think a step function.
Sure.
And that also, just like after November 2002, it has become much better and it's becoming better. More compute is being put, more data is being put. And more compute and more data which you put, it keeps getting better. Of course, different methods make it faster and more adaptable and all. And for me, AGI is not a point. I think AGI is a continuum. I don't see that after 5 years, it has reached to a point and there is nothing to go. We'll keep improving from there. And as we have improved, I'm seeing more and more AI has been used every day in my job, every day in real life. It has created more prosperity, it has created more different type of jobs, and it will continue happening. My request to myself and to all of you is get aligned with AI, learn it, be a best user, and you will be far more valuable, far more better life, far more things which you can do, which you cannot do today. So be open and learn and look forward to a very good future with AI.
Wonderful. I would like a big round of applause for all of the speakers who've been able to express themselves so brilliantly today on stage. We only have about 2 minutes to go. I would like maybe one question coming from the audience. Wow, it has been an engaging debate. Thank you so much.